What does it mean to you to be a goddess? Like when you hear that term and it's referred to you, what does that mean?
Ooh, okay. To me, a goddess is someone who is just authentically being their best self, whatever that might be. If you are living your authentic, true self and your purpose, to me, that's what a goddess is.
Yeah, I like that. I agree with that too.
Self-love, selfish, self-care, self-love, selfish.
You are now listening to Dear Goddess, the podcast, where we have candid conversations for her
And we're your hosts, Imani Blaze of Simply Soul Sisters.
and divine of her image. And today we are joined by Sasha Mitchell, who also happens to be a contributor of her image, but even more than that, she's also a curator of A Table for One, Please blog. And she's just an all around amazing woman, an amazing writer, and a goddess in her own right. So if you could tell us a little bit about your blog, like what was the purpose of
Yeah.
starting A Table for One, please?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your compliment. Um, so I started my blog 2 years ago. I moved to New York, or to the New York area, and I moved here with a new job. I didn't know anybody. The one person I did know, I was in a relationship with that person, and we kind of broke up soon as I moved up here. So
Oh
I was
wow.
going through like this heartache, and this like transforming. I didn't know what to call it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I felt like, okay, I knew something big was gonna happen, and I was like, I want to make sure that I write this down to share it with whoever may be in a similar situation.
Right.
And I just want to be honest.
Mm.
That was literally the only thing I thought about when I put this whole blog thing together. Be vulnerable, be truthful, be honest. Um, and that was really it. And that's why I started it, because I knew like something big was happening. I was in the midst of this self-discovery journey, and I just felt like I really needed to share it. So that's where it really all kind of started.
Wow. So you sound like my twin right now. Like that's crazy. Because I mean, I have a blog as well, and the what you just said, like that literally mirrors why I'm doing my blog as well, which is most likely why you're here on the podcast, because goddesses think alike.
Yes,
Yeah.
great minds think alike.
Yes. Do you feel like you're still all like in that stage, or do you feel like you've leveled up from there? If my question is making sense, as far as like your self discovery stage.
Yeah. So okay. So here's the thing about self discovery, because it kind of sounds cliche when you hear it, and I feel like people hear that term a lot. But to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, I didn't really know what people
Yeah.
meant by that. So when I kind of got just like hit out of nowhere with all of this uncertainty and unknown, I was like, oh, this is what people are talking
Mm.
about when they talk
Mm-hmm.
about self discovery. So it didn't seem too cliche anymore. Like I understood where they were coming from. Um, and I will say that I feel like it could be a lifelong
Yes,
journey,
yes.
honestly. And as you
I
go
definitely agree
through
with
it,
that.
you do, like it's levels to it. So you'll learn your purpose, your passion, what you want to do, and you'll make an impact hopefully with it. But it's a lifelong journey. That's what I've learned so far.
Definitely, yeah.
So you mentioned that you found it, got a new job, which is part of the reason why you moved to the New York
I'm
area. So where are
originally from
you originally
Chicago,
from?
Southside.
Chi-town.
Yes.
Chi-town in the house.
And
That's what's up. So is it really true what they say about Chicago? Like
Chicago is the best place
y'all
in the
really?
world to me to this very day. Like there's nothing like it. So,
Oh wow.
but with that being said, I don't want to ignore like the things that are happening in the
Mm-hmm.
community. Like I don't want to like try to
Mhm.
underplay that, because it is serious. But I mean,
Right.
the blackness, everything is just amazing. I love it. Best city.
I still haven't been to Chicago, but that's on the list.
That's
and you
what's up.
kind of just
Girl, go in the summer. Don't go now.
Oh
It's
no.
too
Oh
cold.
no. I have low iron right now, so we can't do that. I can barely do the cold here in North Carolina, and it's not even that cold yet. So you can't talk,
Especially
D. You
compared to
all the way in
Chicago.
Florida. You don't even feel our
Shoot.
pain.
I was there for
Oh my God.
no, but I went
Oh
to
yeah, you
I
are.
went to boot camp. I'm in Dallas right now. But I went to boot camp. I went to boot camp during the winter
Oof.
in Chicago,
Oof.
Illinois. Yes. During like
Girl.
I was in boot
Ooh,
camp from
that's the worst.
November to
She a
January.
real soldier. You a real
So
soldier.
exactly. So we wore ski masks.
I
We
can
had to
only
wear ski
imagine.
masks every day when we went outside.
You got it, sis. You got it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
For real.
That show is crazy. But yeah, so speaking in terms of your job, you work in the
Yeah.
corporate world. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I've been in sales
So
for about 5 years now. So
okay, how do you like
here's
it?
the thing. um,
Right. Here's the thing.
It's like you know
yeah,
somebody about to get into something
because
deep. All
it
right, here's
pays
the
the
thing.
bills, and I'm blessed and I'm grateful, But every day I just think about, even if I currently don't love where I'm at right now, what can I gain from it that will be impactful later? So I really just try to focus on that. I don't hate it, but I understand like it's not my passion, and I don't see myself doing this forever at the same time.
Yeah, that's what's up. And the thing is, like, and you mentioned something very important that you're keeping your mind set on like the results of embarking like this sacrifice because that's what it is when it's something
Right.
that's not your passion but it gets the bills paid. So that's definitely, I think that's very important because a lot of times people just make those risks that aren't quite calculated and the only thing they think about is the negative side of it. So staying positive will kind of help you to get
I
through the journey
definitely can
safely.
agree with that because I had to really I had to teach myself that mindset because once I figured out that corporate America wasn't where I was going to be, because honestly, when I graduated and I thought I was going to be a teacher and move up in the world, in the teaching world, in the education world, and be somebody's principal teaching Black history. But I quickly realized that that's just not my life at all. And I still had to make some sacrifices because I have to pay my bills and I have to live. So when I got into corporate America, I honestly hated it. I felt like a number. Every single day I came to work and I'm just so annoyed that I'm here at work. I just don't feel fulfilled. But once I started to switch my mindset to what you said as far as like taking the skills that the job is teaching you away from it, that changed everything because I realized like my time management is terrible. So like, and at work I have to make use of my time to get my job done. So being there teaches me how to manage my time. So when I get home and I have my little 4 to 5 hours to work on Simply Soul Sisters, I know how to use that time and I'm not wasting it. So I definitely get what you're saying.
That's a good point.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a good point too because like a lot of people, they get so frustrated by their 9 to 5 and they have their side hustles that they really want to make like an actual corporation or a big business, but they won't take that overtime to go home and work on their passion. And
no,
I kind of feel like that's how a lot of people get stuck in the corporate world.
I'm gonna get a man my 8 hours, but I'm coming home, and if I don't have a full 8 hours in me because realistically I just can't do that throughout the week. But I'm gonna give myself that 4 to 5 hours. We're gonna put in that work that's necessary.
Yeah. And then also it's like a release for you too, because when you go through what you go through all day long at your job, whatever it is that you have to deal with, like your side hustle, sometimes it doesn't feel like a hustle. It's like a release.
Yeah, definitely.
You can do what you finally enjoy.
And I've gotten to the point now where sometimes I'll do overtime at work and I'll be working on my business. So I'm like getting paid to work on my own business at the same time. I don't know how to explain it, but it just benefits me. It definitely benefits me. And that money, like the money that I'm getting for overtime, I always tell myself, like, this is going towards the business. So it'll make me feel better about being there working for somebody else. Cause it's like, okay, but this money is going into my business. So yeah. So yeah.
And on your blog, you speak about executive presence. So what exactly do you mean by this term? Just for anybody that's not familiar with your blog, or just the term used in the way that you used it.
I talked about executive presence. So I went to this seminar and at work, and there was a woman who came to speak to us on executive presence. But like the way that she taught it, it was kind of like, if you want to own, you know, the room or the boardroom or whatever it is, you need to look this way, speak this way, dress this way. And like literally everything she was saying, I kind of felt opposite. So when I wrote executive presence, and there's like a part 1 and part 2, I kind of just speak on how, I mean, obviously you should be confident, but you don't have to be like this whole fake it till you make it thing. That's what she was really preaching. But my thing was, you're not really faking it if you are just who you are. You're just you're kind of feeling it out.
Right.
Like, okay, this is what I think works for me. And you just be it. You don't have to fake it till you make it, because you already have it. And I think that was the message that I was really trying to get across. But yeah, it was kind of play on to what she spoke about. And I was actually kind of disappointed, because the woman who came to speak to us, she was like, you know, a Black woman who had been in corporate America for like years. And I didn't appreciate the message. I don't know. That was just me, but I think about it.
No, but I definitely get what you're saying.
I was about to just say, I've definitely been in the same exact situation that you were in just last week. Like, you work in corporate America, so you know there's always pointless meetings and pointless training sessions and stuff that they'll have you going in and out of. And the lady, she was speaking about the same thing. She wasn't Black, though. She was white. So I was just like, I expect this anyway. But I really was sitting there thinking the same thing. Like, no, this is no. So I'm like, just no. I don't agree with that. But it goes a little deeper for me, because she was speaking about like aesthetics, like how you should. Well, you just said that, how you should dress and everything, but. I don't dress the way everybody else dresses in my office. Like,
me either.
At all. Like, I will try. I make a point. Y'all gonna get Mother Africa, Imani, at least 3 days out the week. Like, I'm gonna make a point to wear a head wrap or something where I insert my Blackness into this space, because y'all gonna see me today. And then on the other days, I mean, I don't really dress like corporate-ish. I would just dress like my business swag, I guess. I don't know. But I always like put my flavor on it, so that
absolutely. I wear my hoop earrings every day to work.
Girl, yes.
It doesn't like, I'm not switching that up for anybody. My nails, whatever color I want. Like, I don't know. It gets really tedious, especially for like women in corporate America. It can get really particular with how they expect you to look or speak, dress, whatever.
Yes.
And I can't. If I'm going to be here doing something that I'm not really passionate about, I'm going to at least be here and be who I am. You know, and I don't know. I
exactly.
Feel like you know, productivity from your employees if you let them do that, allow them to do that, and if it's not
because it really makes
it
like are we still
dress
in high
code?
School?
What?
Like, is this, you know,
but they only
like
to police women when it comes to clothing and things like that, and yeah,
exactly, double standard.
So.
Yeah, the thing is, in my office, it's really not like a dress code as far as like, oh, your skirt's too short, but it's just like, I always get like the look, like when I come in with my head wrap and my dress, or I can't think right now because I'm on the spot. I don't know what's my dashiki, and like just the whole aesthetic. Like, I'll always get the look. Like, sometimes they turn red, as if just looking at me with a head wrap on just makes them so uncomfortable. I'm like, wow, you look like a whole lobster right now. Like, chill out. It's not that serious.
And it's so crazy because it really makes you think. Like I read a quote somewhere that says Black women are the only like marginalized group in the world who is expected to
What?
basically mask their authentic selves. It's like I have to wear a wig because my hair grows from my scalp upward and it's curly, and I have to wear baggy clothes because if it's too tight, it's too revealing because I have hips and I have a little butt or whatever the case may be. And it's like, what? This is who I am. You expect me not to, you know what I'm saying? Not to be my own individual
and I
self
definitely
as a grown
encourage
ass
anybody
woman.
listening to this right now who might be having that issue, because not everybody has the courage to just go into that space and be themselves. But you really will benefit from it because of the fact that I just like have no shame in my game as far as my head wraps. And like if you go to my desk, I have my crystals all over the plate. Like, you know,
good for you.
like, you know what I'm about. And because I'm like that, the whole office knows what I'm about. Like we had a meeting and we had a guest speaker, and somebody he asked like, where would you want to be in life or whatever, and we had to like guess what each coworker was going to say, and everybody was like, oh, Imani will be in Africa. Like the whole office just yeah. And at first, the thing is, at first I was gonna be, I felt like, should I be offended at this? But I wasn't, because like they just know, like, she's not, I don't like using the word woke, but I mean, she's woke as heck, and she's not with the shits here in this office right now. And yeah, she would rather be in Africa. So I was like, yeah, y'all right. I definitely would be in Africa, not here at this round table.
Are you the only Black woman that's in your office?
No, but I'm the only Black woman, if that makes sense. Like the rest of them,
okay,
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
like the rest of them,
Yes, it
they
makes a
all
lot of
conform,
sense.
and I'm the only one that does not conform. So, and it wasn't the white people who said, "You might gonna be in Africa." It was my sisters, like, "She gonna be in Africa," but
when
they,
you say conform, like what do you mean?
as far as like, because I feel like there's nothing wrong with wearing weave and wearing your hair straight and stuff like that, but I mean, you're a Black woman and your hair does not look like that 24/7. It doesn't grow out your head like that. That's just how I see it. So I feel like I want to choose my words here, but I just I know it's Dear Goddess,
You don't.
but I don't want
this
the
is
other
Dear
goddesses
Goddess.
listening.
We are authentic.
Yeah.
But we also have to be respectful of other people. The fact that everybody has their own opinion.
Okay,
so we can't be upset at you for your truth.
So I'm gonna say it.
The only thing that you can speak to is
So
your truth.
I just feel like Black women, there's some kind of insecurity or some kind of complex that you have if you don't see yourself wearing your natural hair at least once out the daggone year in the office. Like if you don't feel comfortable doing that, like there's something up, and you got to go deeper and really figure out like, why am I not okay with wearing my fro or my little high puff in the office? Like, why does my hair have to be laid for the gods when I go into the office? Like, that's just me. I don't get that. I mean, I do, but I don't. So yeah.
No, because the reason why I ask is because I also feel like I don't like when it's just one of us, because it's like, you feel like you have this, well, I don't feel like it anymore, but in the beginning you kind of feel like you have this pressure to like represent. You got the whole nation on your shoulders.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
What? Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot. So that's why I was like, okay, when it comes to conforming, like I like that. So when there is more than just one, I like that we can show that there's no monolithic way of being Black. And so that's like, well, what do you consider to be conforming? Because I get frustrated with those type of women too, who I feel like don't really associate themselves with other Black people in the office. For me, that's strange.
Yeah.
But I also try to be like open about it. Like, okay, we don't all have to think the same, look the same, act the same. You know what I mean? And I like that it's different representations of us.
Yeah.
Because I think, as ignorant as this sounds, I don't even think I realized that myself until I went to an HBCU. I mean,
Girl,
being
yes.
exposed to what I was exposed to growing up in the Midwest, we all kind of the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we all were living that struggle.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we didn't really see like the different types of beauty, Blackness. I didn't, at least until I went to an HBCU and got
That's
exposed to it.
facts.
So then when I go to corporate America and I see, you know, my sisters in the hair wraps or the ones with the weave, because I love a good wig. And then like the ones that have, you know, that may have no hair at all and they just rocking the ball. Like I don't know. Like I'm just open to all of it. And sometimes I do get frustrated, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, it's important that all of us can show what we are and still be one.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So,
definitely.
Yes. And I think it also speaks to our versatility. It lets people know that, you know, there is no one face, no
right.
one look to Black women. We're versatile. So you're going to get us in every facet that we come in. And that's
Right.
what makes us unique compared to our counterparts, is the fact that we are
Right.
versatile, the fact that we
Yeah.
can do this
Yeah, I
and we can do that,
definitely.
you
Yeah.
know? So I definitely see what you're saying. So what challenges do you find like piloting the corporate world as a quote unquote woke Black woman, and how do you feel like you personally overcome those
Um,
challenges?
so what I will say is, so the biggest struggle I had in the beginning was just simply like speaking up. That took a lot of effort, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once I finally got out of the whole, I don't think I really want to say anything, I'm shy, whatever. Once I got over that, I started to notice that there was this thing that came with it. So like when you do speak up or you do add value in a meeting or have something to say, whatever it is, there's this there's like this piece of it where what I'm telling you is with value and it means something. It's not just to say it. So you could literally speak and then nobody responds or nobody thinks that it's of substance. So
Mm-hmm.
they ignore it as if you didn't say anything at all, or they question you. And it's like, well, no, I
Right.
know exactly what I'm talking about. I find myself currently struggling with that.
Right.
And I get so frustrated. And I try, because I'm like, okay, y'all want to see the angry Black woman. I'm going to let y'all see her one day. But it's frustrating because it's it's preventing like your people from being, and when I say, oh my gosh, sorry guys, that's my dog. Oh, okay, so when you say something and then people not taking it of value, that's where I'm currently struggling, and it's frustrating because when you
Mm-hmm.
are already fighting the fact that you didn't want to say something and it took all of that energy to finally get it out, and then you got to fight this second half of the battle,
Mm-hmm.
which is, well, take what I'm saying as truth or as fact. It's so tiresome, like it's draining. And I think that it's important that for a lot of us in corporate America that we try to get like a mentor, a sponsor, somebody to like help us as we go through those battles, because you're already battling like the everyday challenges of work, and then you have to turn around and deal with those challenges while you're like, I don't know, like wearing like a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a lot of, it's very
Mm-hmm.
tiresome if I had to describe it. That's what I would say. So I think having a mentor is important.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with the mentor aspect of what you said, because I have like a mentor there in the office, and she's who um, helped me become comfortable. Well, I'm really comfortable in my own skin, really. But I mean, the first day I didn't come in with a head wrap, but on the interview, I did tell her how I usually look. And so when I
Mm-hmm.
came in on the first day to work, she's like, "Where's your head wrap?" I was like, "Oh." I felt I was like, well, I felt like it was a little bit too early to throw it on them. She's like, "Girl, you better come in here tomorrow with that head wrap if you feel like wearing that head wrap." And from then, I just like paid attention to how she is in the office, and I'm like, she is completely herself. She don't have a filter at all. I was just basically saying that, yeah, as far as a mentor goes, my mentor in the office definitely gave me the confidence to just be a Black woman. Like, she has no filter. She doesn't even try to use like, I don't want to say talking white, because talking proper doesn't not necessarily mean that you're talking white. But she says ain't, like, she uses ebonics, like, she really doesn't care. And she's like one of the highest paid women in the office. So once I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, definitely insert yourself here. And that's what I did.
I can even relate to that, like in the military, because one thing about it is like, you have to, as Black women, we have to find that one Black, not necessarily that one Black woman at your command that has kind of been there, done that, and she's not one of those women that have conformed, because she can kind of help you guide through. Because a lot of times, just because you're like a lower rank, people would just kind of treat you any kind of way just because they can get away with it. Because they know automatically when you're new, you're going to try to do whatever it takes to not get in trouble or not to be seen as problematic. So a lot of times they'll just pick on you just to test you and see how you're going to respond. And me, like my first 3 years in the military, I made rank like very fast, especially like for my rate. It was probably like damn near unheard of how quick I got to like E5 in like a year and a half from like the E1. So with that, I faced a lot of challenges anyways. But kind of the bad part about it is that when you get to that certain rate, they kind of expect for you to, like you said, you're like responsible for making everybody look good. But I'm the girl, I'm gonna quote unquote talk back, because that's what they call it. And I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, stand up for myself and speak up for myself and all those different things that a lot of the women in the office wouldn't do. And I always faced challenges because of that. And in my last 2 years in the military, when I first decided that I was getting out, that's when I started my locks. And listen, it was the best thing for me, but it was the worst thing for them, because people was like, I know them as locks to your head. You need to get a wig, or you need to take those out. But the thing is, I had a big chop into, twist. So it's like, my hair wasn't even that long.
Who was saying
so
that?
why exactly is it a problem? Because you don't like the way it looks untamed, or whatever the case may be. Like women, like the worst part about it is it will be other Black women, like you were saying, like how it makes you think, like, really, like, wow, you've been there, done that. You would think that after your 20 years in the military that you would not want to see that continue to happen, but it's coming from you of all people. And that's when I was just like, you know what, I gotta go. Like, I personally, I can't sacrifice my troops anymore, because in the military they don't have it. Of course, now you can wear locks and it's okay, but even with that, they still want you to like. They still want to restrict you.
Also, I feel like a lot of
it's crazy. It's like you can't win for losing.
Other women told you that. A lot of the time, I feel like older women, or just older Black men and women, they have a different view on things. And like the way we see things is kind of like, you can't restrict us in saying who we are and what our identity is going to be. For them, I feel like they view it as like a survival tactic because of the time period that they grew up in. And like I also try to be forgiving of that. Like it makes me upset that they view it that way. And I'm like, you did all that you did and fought all that you, whatever it was that happened that you were a part of. And now we're in this new space. I should be able to enjoy this new space because of what happened in the past. But I don't know, like, it's conflicting. I see their point, but it's just frustrating too, because it's like, I don't want to have to feel like I need to be somebody I'm not, or just to survive, But I feel like that's how they kind of see it, older Black people at least.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm with you on that. But
yeah,
I mean, I feel like I have the recipe, which is just be myself, just be a dope Black woman, and they're just gonna get with it. I mean, I wore like a pair of earrings that said truth on them, and it had like the Ankh and the Eye of Ra on it. And one of the like higher ups that came in and came over to my desk and was like, "Hey, what is that? What's that on your earrings?
I love that.
And
voice.
I'm like, so do I give him a history lesson right now, or do I just water this down? Because I mean, my earrings like say truth. So he's like, what is this? And I'm like, I mean, it's just, I just like the earring. That was a time when I really didn't like fully insert myself. I mean, I did, but I didn't. I was like, these are just my favorite earrings. Like, I just like them. And I just explained to him what the Eye of Ra was as far as protection, but I didn't go deep into it as far as like what the Ankh is and all of that, because I was just gonna go far left, and I didn't have time for that day. So,
and it's also not your job to explain to him,
right?
What,
I'm not,
you know, like
yeah,
to do that.
Right.
But that does annoy me, though. I do find myself doing that a lot with the white people in my office. I'm like, oh, don't go there. You're going to make him uncomfortable, or you're going to make her uncomfortable. And I honestly hate having to do that, but maybe that's just another challenge that I'll get through eventually. But yeah, I do tend to do that sometimes. Like, nah, let me tone it down a little bit as far as conversation goes. Like, they're not going to be able to go there with me.
Right. I had got to a point where I felt like I used to be like that. I definitely used to be like that. But I honestly got to a point in my life where I felt like, you know what? It's my job to make you uncomfortable. Because if nobody else is going to take it there, I'll be that one guinea pig. I'll be that one person that's going to pave the way for the rest of our younger sisters and brothers who's going to come in line behind us and probably face these same challenges. But I feel like if I face it head on now and face it first now and overcome it, then that makes it easier for the women after us so that they don't have to deal with that. Because the thing is, they do be uncomfortable. They be uncomfortable as fuck. But the thing is, it's like, exactly. It's like, bruh, why does my authenticity, why does the way I was born, does, you know, my truth make you so uncomfortable that you can't even stand to just like respect me? And that's what it boils down to, is respect. Because you don't necessarily have to agree with anything anybody does, anything anybody says. Like, you should be able to work in an office with a versatile group of people, whether it be religion or race or ethnicity or whatever the case may be, and still be able to be respectful of one another. But that's the problem. A lot of them, they don't respect you. They don't. So that's why they'll tell you, like, okay, you need to water it down. You need to calm it down, relax a little bit. I don't know. You don't need to be too black. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know how that feels, because I don't got it.
That privilege is indeed something.
Right.
Listen.
Must be nice. Dude, you about to have me go to work act the fool tomorrow.
Listen, must be nice.
I'm putting up for my sisters.
Listen. I got them on my back. Listen. What did they say? It was a quote. I forgot the quote. I ain't even about to try to mess it up and not do the quote justice. But yes, we have to. Some of us, of course, like you said, it's not everybody's job, but you know, somebody has to lead the way. It's kind of like, you know, Harriet Tubman.
I mean, I've had my
leading
moments where I've had a few moments.
You know, the railroad. It's like,
really,
somebody
it's usually
do it.
me standing up for Black women. When another Black woman says something bad, like, so we were having like a meeting one day, and one of the other Black women in the office was talking to a white woman about Erykah Badu and like just hamming her, like, yeah, she's yes, and I'm sitting there like, you're not about to go ham on my mother, like, what? What? She's like, yeah, she's really weird, like, she's weird, like, they just both were going in on her, talking about she's just weird, and yeah, that's just not my thing. And like the Black lady, she's well spoken, she talks proper, but it's like that voice, like, I don't know, it just starts going in the bottom of your throat when you start talking like that. And so I'm like, look at this lady here. She's like, yeah, she's just so weird. I'm like, oh my God, you're not about to sit here. And so I just spoke up. I was like, what's weird about her? Because she's not the way of the world. because she understands things that we just haven't wrapped our heads around. So are you saying I'm weird? So like I'm saying, because that's my mother. Like I see her as my mother. So are you saying I'm weird? And she's like, girl, no, I'm not saying that. I'm like, yeah, that is what you're saying. But yeah, don't judge a book by its cover. She knows a lot, and I just left after that because I was over it. But yeah,
that's annoying.
I definitely feel you on that.
Yeah, if somebody says something, it just flat out ignorant. I'm definitely not the type to.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna just let my sisters just throw shade. Like, do that shit with another sister. That's fine, but don't do it with a white person. You over here talk like there's been times out in the break room, I'm listening to a sister talking to a white person about another sister's at home situation. Like, so you're just gonna put a stamp on the fact that Black women are struggling for this white person right now. For what? I don't even know. Like, why are you even having that conversation? Like, some things need to stay between us and don't even go there. But
that's facts. And I remember talking about this like a while back with a friend of mine about how I think we did a live on this, how I think it's important for Black people to stop publicly
shaming,
basically degrading and shaming Black women and Black men, just Black people in general, because of course we live in a world where we have to like kind of be in our own group so that we can represent one another. So it's like, if everybody else is against us as one, like nobody looks at one black woman as like, okay, she is just this way. They automatically just say Black women, Black men, Black people is never just D. D is this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all angry Black girls, y'all this, y'all that, and they automatically put us in a group. So that's why I think, that sometimes we just gotta be like, fuck it, for real, and just take it there.
Yeah, I agree.
But another thing that I noticed that is like a trend with you and your blog is self-care, and you talk a lot about it from like different perspectives, and you've written a lot about self-care. And I noticed that, for you kind of take it a step further with doing a little solo traveling, which, girl, I wish I had the guts. Like, I want to do it so bad.
Yes, please.
But,
yeah, definitely.
Talk to us.
Tell us more. Like,
I encourage everybody to do that. It does not have to be out the country. Like, you do not have to do no wild shit. But I didn't mean to curse. Can I curse?
Girl, you can curse.
Yeah,
this
course.
is Dear Goddess podcast.
I'm like, yeah, don't do no wild shit. But so I saw this quote. Damn, it was a meme. You know those unpopular opinion memes that you be seeing on like social media? Okay. So it was like unpopular opinion about self-care, and it was like basically saying, it's not all romantic that you think it is. It's not about taking trips out the country and bubble baths. Like, it's so not that. It really is you having to go through like this painful like honesty about who you are, the decisions that you make as a person, what you've done up to this point, and then also just, I guess, just all around just making sure that you kind of check yourself out the door. I had to do a lot of that. But then also growing from that. So it starts kind of painful, but then it becomes beautiful. When I do solo travel, like, it really forces me to be vulnerable. I'm usually trying something new. I'm facing fears. Like, I'm vulnerable to the point where I have no choice but to be me. Like, and when you're like in the middle of a country where there's really nothing going on, and you sit in a restaurant by yourself and you don't have your phone with you or whatever it could be, like, you really just kind of just got to sit there and just take it in. And if you notice something, like, I started off simply just going to the movies by myself, and then that turned into me like solo traveling by myself. But I started really small. And it was awkward too, because at first I was like, I'm gonna go to the movies by myself, but I'm not gonna go Friday night with all the couples because I don't want to look like I'm lonely. Like, it started off that way, but I don't care anymore. But just kind of like unfolding layer by layer to be 100% comfortable with me.
Yes.
And then that led to me being more brave and trying bigger things. And that led to like solo traveling out the country.
Girl, you better do it. Because I really thought about doing that like 2 weeks ago, but I just went to Miami and I saw my cousin. So that didn't really count.
That's fine. Look,
I mean,
local gems are just as beautiful.
Yeah, but I've really been thinking like because I was gonna book a cabin like in the mountains, but then I scared myself because I was like, girl, you are not going to nobody damn mountains by yourself with all these white people. Right. You're not coming back. What in the world? They about to slice you up with some body parts and keep it moving. Like, no, ma'am, you're gonna have to go somewhere else, okay? That's not happening. But do you do like Airbnbs or hotels?
Okay, so I'm not a backpacker. I've learned more about who I am. And when I solo travel, I've learned like I'm not a backpack traveler.
Yeah, I don't see myself being
I ain't doing that. I like a good 4-star hotel at least. And
okay.
And I like not even about to lie.
Yeah, I'm like I don't.
Also because it's like a safety concern too. I really encourage. I've had like a scary moment before solo traveling in Paris where somebody tried to rob me. And
really?
Yeah. And it was so scary. And then also like it was weird because they wouldn't let me leave. I was at the airport and they wouldn't let me leave. I had to call the US embassy. Like it was just crazy. So I also encourage like the whole backpack traveling thing. I'm not saying y'all should do that, but I don't mean to sound bougie either when I'm talking about like these hotels, but it's really for safety purposes. I like to stay in chain hotels. A Marriott is just fine.
Yeah.
Known all around the world, you know what I mean? So but
that's valid. And I'm glad you said that because I'm like in this stage where I'm just like ready to just walk off into the woods and just never come back. Obviously, I'm not really going to do that. But I was like, when I go solo traveling, I'm going to get an Airbnb and me and that stranger, we're just going to talk all night and learn things about each other. But that is not realistic, like at all. So
it can be. You just got to be careful, you know. But there are people who do it.
Yeah, I just see the good in everything and everyone, and I'll mess around and be in somebody's basement, and y'all won't know me.
You can like I had a friend who decided to take a solo trip for her birthday, and she lives in California, and she literally just took a ferry, I think maybe 40 minutes out to some little town, and she stayed in the Airbnb, and I mean she had a good time, and it was a solo trip. She actually wrote about it too, so I've been meaning to post it, but it was like her first solo trip, and it was literally just 40 minutes from where she lived, and it was life-changing for her.
Okay. I'm gonna do some research.
Yeah, you should definitely do it.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of traveling solo though.
But also, someone asked me, this is random. Some lady asked me one time at work. She was like, she asked if I live by myself. I was like, yeah. And she's like, you travel by yourself? She's like, I mean, because I have like daughters. If you want to go with somebody, I was like, I purposely travel alone. Don't worry, I have friends I can travel with, but I travel alone on purpose. And she was like, do you ever get lonely? And I didn't mean to say this, but I have to shut that lonely shit down because I was like, there are people who are lonely and married.
Right. Okay, because that's another episode altogether, codependency, because 99% of the relationships right now are codependent as heck. But that's another.
Man, I'm telling you. Yeah. There are people who are married women, grown women who I've like met at little blog events and stuff. And they never done things alone.
Right. That's why it's important to do the inner work because you can do the inner work when you're with somebody, but it's like women just get so wrapped up in the relationship that they don't even give that to themselves.
I think people are scared. I think they really do associate that with loneliness.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting, but yeah.
It's like a taboo, I guess you could say. So, have you ever like met a boo thing or anything like that on one of your solo trips?
I have not. I don't see I don't see a lot of Black men traveling when I do travel. This is a PSA to all Black men. Please get out and travel. Like, please. I don't see a lot of Black men traveling. I see a lot of Black women. And I've actually met, like, on my first solo trip, I met another Black girl who was on her first solo trip. So that was really cool. I should actually reach back out to her now that I'm saying this out loud. But it was really cool. But I see Black women traveling all the time, which is amazing. But I do not see Black men traveling. And I really encourage them to, and I really want them to, because I would not mind a little getaway.
Yeah, little
For
Stella.
real,
Stella
girl,
got her
let me
groove
tell
back.
you.
Okay.
Listen, it is like everything, man. And like it's crazy. When I went on a trip, it wasn't a solo trip, but I went on a trip, and the ironic part about it is like there was, some Black men there, and they was just as fine as they can be, honey. And the beautiful thing about when you like travel like that and you meet people there, it's like everybody kind of have set in their head, like, okay, we're on vacation, we're gonna have a good time. We don't have to make things complicated. Nothing
Right.
has to be like too, it literally, I swear, it was like I had a boyfriend like the whole time I was out there. It was so weird. Like it was weird because you would have thought that we like known each other. Like when we went out, people was really thinking that like, oh, you guys are like a couple, like you guys came out here together. Like, nope. We just met and we was like so cozy with one another as if we like knew each other. It was crazy.
Where
But
was
listen,
this? I need to go there.
girl, Cancun.
I knew that's what you was talking
Cancun, out
about.
of all places? Really?
Listen, yes. And it was, girl, let me tell you. And girl, oh my gosh. Just thinking about it, I'm just like, oh my gosh. It was amazing. Like, girl, I have no words.
I need to go back to Cancun and try again.
Well, I
Listen,
need to go to Cancun, period. So
for real. It was everything, just thinking about it. But yeah, I definitely encourage it too. And I was thinking like, I want to go back and I want to go by myself because I read this article on like another girl's website that she blogs about like erotic stories and stuff. And people would be asking her like, are these stories like her personal stories or are they fiction or what? But one of them, she's like, it was like a real story. And she was saying how she, went somewhere by herself and she met a guy and, they, like, she literally said they like, of course she described it, but she literally said they like made love. And it was like,
Wow.
it really makes you think like, of course, you go somewhere, like I said, everybody have in their head space that, I'm just here, I want to have a good time. Like they legit treat you as if like y'all like, married like a real couple just for the night. And I think that's dope. I think it's like, you gotta experience life and sometimes you just gotta take it there, especially when you're single.
Yeah.
yeah, we can play around. I don't know about the whole making love thing. I don't know. I would have to catch your vibe and figure.
Yeah, exactly. Of
Yeah,
course, you're not gonna do that with everybody, but if the
yeah,
vibe calls for it, then I say like, why not?
yeah.
Go for it. Be safe, but
Right.
enjoy life while you can, while you're single.
Live. That's like what life is teaching me right now. Just live. Like, girl,
Live a
you're
little.
25 years old, but I'm just awoken to my whole goddess world. So I'm like, oh, a goddess can't do this, a goddess can't do that. But it's like, no, don't even start trying to put labels on stuff and putting yourself in boxes and all that extra
Right.
stuff. Like, you're a goddess. That's it. Keep walking.
Yeah, all right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is your favorite place that you've been to?
My favorite place so far, okay, was Hawaii. It's basic, but
It's not really basic.
it's the U.S., so I
It
feel
ain't.
like it's not.
It ain't basic. Shit, I ain't been to Hawaii, so you
But you
got
know
one
what?
up on me.
That's exactly why I like it, because you're still in the US. They speak English, but you're on an island. So it's like the best of both worlds. But it was so gorgeous. Like the people were really nice. Um, I think when I travel, I like to try to kind of learn about like the native people who are from there. Um, and just get like just a glimpse of their culture. And I feel like Native Hawaiian people did a really good job preserving their culture. And I'm like obsessed with it. It's beautiful. So I think that's what I really, really like about it. And also, you get so many different kind of landscapes in Hawaii. Like you get waterfalls, you get volcanoes, beaches, city. So it's like everything wrapped into one. It's really pretty.
So, do you know where you plan on going next? Do you have an idea?
I do. I want to go to New Zealand. Yeah, but see, you need like at least 2 weeks. And I don't know if my job will give me 2 weeks off, but I really want to go to New Zealand. I like landscapes, and I just like hiking, and I don't know, like I really just like landscapes. I don't know no other way to say it, but that's like the one of the best places I feel like hands down where you can get everything all in one.
Yeah.
So I want to do that, and then also New Orleans.
Okay.
I gotta go to New Orleans too. I was just talking to my friend about it. I'm like, I can't believe like we're right here in Dallas and we've never been to New Orleans and she's never been to New Orleans. So we're like, girl, we gotta go. Yeah. And I was like, I said, you know what? The first time I go to New Orleans will be the first time that I go to the Essence Fest and I'll actually be on the stage. That's me manifesting that.
Yes. Speak it, bold speaker.
Yes.
I have a financial question. One for myself, and I'm sure anybody else listening to this is probably wondering, like, how do you go about funding your trips? Because that's a valid question. I feel like,
yeah,
like you do. I mean, I'm sure you don't go for the weekend, so you got to plan all that. Never mind.
I definitely made Paris a 3-day trip because
I
was on a budget.
Okay, so yeah, just tell us like how you made trips work on a budget, and then maybe how you might have planned for one.
So I've done trips where I've only gone for a few days. I feel like you don't need a whole week. I've done like vacations where I've been gone for a whole week. That was usually like a girl's trip or something.
Yeah.
But typically, like when you solo travel, you don't have to compromise your plan. You can do exactly what you want to do. So it's not going to take a lot of time to do it. And sometimes you just don't want to do nothing. So you don't really need to be there long.
Right.
So I think a 3 to 4 day trip is enough, depending on where you go, and that alone saves money because the biggest piece is the hotel. Because like when you do girls trips and Airbnbs, you're typically splitting that with people.
Yeah.
But when you solo travel, like you're covering all of it. So to save on like the hotel piece, I would just limit it to 3 days.
Okay.
And then like I try to find, like when I'm there, I really just try, and this is just the type of traveler I am. I'm not the type that got to go to Paris and go to the Louis store and shop. I don't do that. Everything I did there it was probably free, or it was like a museum that cost like $10. But that's just because I enjoy cheaper things.
Yeah.
It's not gonna take a lot for me. When I was in Hawaii, I literally was just on the beach. I went from one beach. I rented a car and just drove the entire island. So that was what I spent my money on. So I plan ahead of time what my itinerary is gonna be, so I know how much I plan to spend. But the type of activities I do usually don't cost a lot.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I hope that's helpful. But also, booking.com, they use like it probably is more expensive in the long end, but you can book a hotel and not have to pay the full deposit until you actually check in.
Right.
So that helps too. So you can book your plane ticket first, and then between the time you book your plane ticket and the time you leave, you can save for the hotel and spending money and stuff. So it'll lock in that price for you.
Okay, that's good. That's definitely good. So what would you say to any of our sisters who are still listening and they're like, oh, that sounds cool, but I'm still not doing that? Like, what would you say to them?
Wait, doing what? Solo traveling or?
Yeah, because I mean, some people, they're like, yeah, that sounds real cool, but I would never. Like, I'm sorry, I just would never.
You just gotta do it scared. Even if it's small, just do it scared. Go to breakfast by yourself. Take a book with you. You know, go to the movies by yourself. And then from there, you know, maybe do a road trip by yourself, like an hour out. You know, you'll be surprised what you find locally in your own state or city. Just do a quick road trip by yourself. And then come back home. You don't even got to stay out there. Just come right back. But start small because, I mean, it's scary. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's scary, but at the same time, the adrenaline, like the feeling that you get from it afterwards, it's just so amazing. Like, you're so proud of yourself for doing something that you wouldn't normally do, and it's literally life changing. So just do it scared. Just do it scared.
Okay. Yep.
You definitely spoke to me. You definitely spoke to me today. So I'm gonna do it scared.
Yeah, and let me know how it goes. Right.
I definitely will, because you know it's gonna be on my blog for sure.
All right, so Sasha, let them know where they can find you, where they can check you out, and you know, stay updated on this self-exploration journey of Sasha.
Oh yeah, so my Instagram is at Sasha Too Fierce For You, the number 2 and the number 4, letter U. And then the website to my blog is tablefor1please.com.
Awesome. So we definitely enjoyed having you on the show today, and you know, letting us know about your journey, your experiences in the corporate world, and you know, your self-care and your solo traveling journey. If there's any last words that you want to share at all before we go on.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Y'all are so dope for putting this together. Please keep going. Yeah, please keep doing this, and you know, it's space for this. Like, people need this, so this is great.
Awesome. Thanks.
She's crazy.
I am. I don't know. I can't ever be serious.
No chill.
At all.
No chill at all.
But yeah, we definitely thank you for you know, giving all this energy that you just gave through this podcast. Like, I just feel like I'm about to get off of here, get on my computer, and book me a trip. Like, for real.
You should. You deserve it.
I read somewhere that you should always, like, after every trip, you should always like have something to look forward to. So like, if you come back from one trip, start scheduling another. So
definitely.
Oh yeah, but I did that one time and I was not financially ready for it. Oh God.
Yes. Oh my God. See. Because I just came back from Miami and I'm like, oh, I'm ready to go somewhere.
Yeah, you do be ready to go. Yeah.
Oh, but that rent. Know, right? Oh, but them lights. Oh, but that other bill. No, ma'am.
Facts. I definitely feel you. So of course, whenever you get to a space where you're like ready, but like you said, it can be the small things too. Like, you can say, you know what, next month or 2 months from now, I'm gonna go to the next city over and just hang out for the weekend. Like, that's very expensive. You don't even have to spend over like maybe a couple $100, honestly.
Yeah, get that car and drive.
Exactly. Get you a little hotel. Like you said, you don't have to be bougie, or get an Airbnb. That'll definitely be cheap when you get an Airbnb. Yeah, and just go for it. But that is the Dear Goddess podcast with Sasha Mitchell today, and we hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to herimage.org, simplysoulsisters.com, and stay tuned for the next episode of the Dear Goddess podcast.
We are signing out.
All right, and that's where we're gonna end it. All right, y'all. That was a good episode.
That was great. That was definitely great. everything flowed perfectly.
It did. It flowed very well.
Except my dog barking in the back.
It's okay.
And
Girl,
then,
that's
like, at
fine.
one point, my voice was like shaking because I'm literally pushing him off of me. I'm like,
No, you're fine.
What kind
It
of dog
went
do you
fine.
have?
he's a lab. He's a chocolate lab mixed with a Weimaraner.
So it's big.
Yeah, he's 75 pounds and he's 2 years old, so he's a puppy.
Oh my gosh.
But
Good Lord. No, ma'am,
he was
Sam.
doing too much in the beginning. Like,
Crazy.